Cofield out here getting ready for WEC 41, and a familiar face, the legend, the veteran. Do you get tired of that ever? Like the old guy?
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, been in the sport for a while, so I guess I'm the legend, the veteran, and all that, but am I retired? No. Am I retiring? No. So that's the only one that really gets the bump is people are like, oh, he's 33, he's washed up, he's lost 3 in a row, he's done, he's retiring. Most fighters, man, they really didn't make their notch until they were 35, 36. So that's the only tough part.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it with you is the fact that you're a guy who throws his emotions out there. So I think people are like, oh, this must be the end of it. He's so upset. But, you've been like that. That's your personality.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's who I am. My emotions stayed on my sleeves. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I relate so well to the fans and just people that, I've ever talked to and things like that is I don't do this. I'm not in this for, money or a job. This is a life to me. This was my life. This is all I ever knew, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm hurting just as bad. Yeah, I'm 0-3 in the last 3 fights and, lost 5 of my last 6 and can't beat the top guys. And so I sit there and wonder all the time, God, what's happening? I just can't help it. Someone hits me with a question and if it right there, hey, if I got to cry right there, I'm going to cry right there.
Do you hate the situation where older guys are asked about a loss and then, are you going to retire? Because, I think it was, Craig Hummer who did it to you in San Diego. And as a guy who broadcasts, I was like, well, his delivery was a little inappropriate. I guess he's doing his job. But, Rogan does it too. And it kind of, at times, it drives me nuts. So as a fighter, how do you guys look at it? Are we just doing our job? Are we being dicks? What do you think?
No, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, I think the question more, though, was about being relevant. And that was the part. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so much about retiring or what are you going to do from here is do you still feel relevant? Yeah. And that kind of stung because, I go out there and I give 110% every time. And, yeah, I had a bad showing with Faber. He rifled that body shot. But up until that body shot, I loved the way I was attacking him. Had I been the first fight with that kind of fitness and being in that kind of shape, we could have had a different fight with the aggression that I was going after, and not trying to drop 20 pounds 3 days out and, things like that. But so that was the tough part. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's like I tell anybody that ever, they all can't love me, you know what I mean? And I can't go out there and make everybody like me. And everybody's doing their job. That's the thing that we do. I mean, I'm out there, I'm fighting, and I'm giving people the choice to have an opinion, whatever their opinion may be. Hey, you got to roll with it. They can't all be good.
Well, it made for a cool moment, too, though, because that crowd was like, whoa. Basically, they wanted to bum rush the guy. And I'm not saying he did anything wrong. It was just the way he worded it. And it was a tough question, but the crowd went nuts. I love that.
It was kind of a kick. It was a kick in the stomach for sure because, it was one of those things where I was like, oh. And I'm like, oh, my God. And then, I couldn't stop the tears, and I could just hear the crowd getting into it. And I'm just like, and that, the F-bomb, it wasn't so much, I wasn't trying to drop it on TV. I kind of forgot where I was, and I got so caught up in the moment of just everything that was happening, the crowd cheering and everything. And I'm just like, F that, man. I was saying it to myself, and I kind of forgot that I was on TV at the same point. So I think I was telling myself, nah, F that, you're not done,
and we should say your emotions going in. I mean, you lose a fight. Then the questions dropped on you. You have all this stuff going on. The pre-fight was completely ridiculous. I mean, you lost a friend. You had trouble with the weight. So, I mean, that's a lot to deal with on both ends of the fight.
Well, and I had asked for March, and my son was born December 12th. So, I mean on the 16th, sorry. And so I was trying to deal with that. And I knew that December was going to be almost worthless for me. I didn't realize, obviously, at the end of it, the 25th, my friend gets murdered. And he wasn't just, and it was a hard thing because he wasn't just a friend to me. He was a brother to me, and if people ever really knew us or they ever look back and they go back and kind of check out the situation, it was one of those things where he moved out to Iowa with me. I gave him, money, made sure he was taken care of, made sure he was going to go after this and give it 100%. And I mean, I love the kid more than anything under the world, and it's still painful that he's gone. And so I hadn't lost anybody really close to me like that. Your friends dying, things that you knew when you were growing up or something, but somebody that was just day in and day out that close to me, that was a tough one for me, and it was a hard pill to swallow. And I mean, I ended up being 19 pounds overweight, but I had to do what I had to do to get, to make weight and go to the fight anyway.
All right. So has all of this kind of changed you? Because I remember you, especially with BJ Penn, and I'm sure there are other fights where you were kind of motivated by dislike, by hate. Do you ever see that happening again? I guess someone can rub you the wrong way, but you seem like you probably have a little more perspective now. There's really no reason to get that fired up at someone, even if they're busting your chops.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is I think a lot of people know it now, and I don't know if Uriah leaked it out there or something, but it's kind of like, you seen how mad I was against Cub, and I went out there to finish that fight in seconds. I was livid. It was, that was a different kind of animal that was fighting in that cage, where everybody else, I just treat it like a sparring match. I'm out there to fight and test my skills against their skills, and, so I don't have to hate people when I go out there to fight, and to be honest, I don't hate too many of them, it's just, sometimes some people just disrespect me to the point that it makes me so mad, because I'm like, who do you think you are? Just because I'm fighting. And that's with fans and other people too. I've had certain people just kind of hit below the belt in the fact that, hey, yeah, I fight on TV. Hey, you get to watch it. But there's certain things, if you say to me, I'm going to reach up and slap you from one man to another. I'm going to slap you because you shouldn't say that to anybody. I don't care what sport they're in or what job they do. There's just some things that just shouldn't be said, and you just don't cross it. If you're media and you're picking on my profession, awesome. You know what I mean? My skills, of course. But you attack the person, the person might attack back.